The transition of light. Planet Earth wears two faces. While one half of the world basks in the harsh light of day, the other sinks into a deep slumber. But here, in this ancient tropical rainforest, sunset is not an end. It is a signal. As the final rays of sunlight retreat from the canopy, yielding to the deep purples of the coming night, the temperature begins to drop. Flowers that blazed with color during the day close their petals, surrendering the stage to the night-blooming flora that now begin to release their heady scents. A fleeting silence descends upon the forest. The cicadas fall silent. The wind holds its breath. And at the threshold between light and shadow, a colossal door opens. A limestone cave, damp and forbidding, holding within it the jungle's greatest secret. Inside the Kingdom of Shadows. To enter here is to step into another world. Sunlight has not touched this place in millions of years. The humidity is at saturation point, and the air hangs heavy with the scent of fermenting earth. High above, on the cavern ceiling, thousands upon thousands of dark specks hang inverted. They are motionless, like overripe fruit waiting to fall. This is the daytime slumber of the bats. Meet Nero. He is a fully grown leaf-nosed bat. For the past 12 hours, Nero has hung here in a state of near-suspended animation to conserve energy. His heart rate has dropped to a bare minimum, just a few beats per minute. His body temperature has lowered to match the cold stone walls, but his biological clock is striking. Outside, the moon has risen. Inside Nero's small body, a biological engine begins to roar to life. His heart rate accelerates abruptly. Warm blood pumps vigorously to his muscles, heating the delicate wings that have been stiff with cold. Bat Society. The awakening spreads like a wave. Nero does not live alone. He is a citizen of a subterranean supercity. Thousands of individuals are packed together on every square meter of the ceiling. At this density, privacy is a luxury they cannot afford. Bat Society is far more complex and boisterous than we imagine. There are shoves, warning hisses, and friendly nose touches. They communicate, argue over sleeping spots, and even groom one another. Hygiene is paramount. Clean wings ensure the best aerodynamics for the night flight ahead. The River of Darkness, the Emergence. Hunger begins to gnaw at the stomachs of thousands. The time has come. The first scouts fly out to test the weather. No rain, a light breeze, ideal conditions. Nero releases his grip from the ceiling. In that moment of free fall, He unfurls wings that span 3 times the length of his body. The air catches him, and then the night's most majestic spectacle begins. From the mouth of the cave, a river of darkness erupts into the sky. Tens of thousands of bats take flight simultaneously, creating a localized storm. The sound of their beating wings resonates, sounding like a thundering waterfall amidst the jungle. They fly in a spiral formation to evade waiting predators before scattering in all directions across the forest. Into the wild. Nero separates from the crowd, choosing his own solitary path. Under the silvery moonlight, the jungle appears with an ethereal beauty. Night mist begins to drape over the canopy. For birds, flying through a dense forest at night would be a suicide mission. But for Nero, this is his playground. He glides at speeds of up to 50 kilometers per hour, weaving through the narrowest gaps without slowing down. His fur is coated in a thin layer of oil to repel the dampness of the mist. Every sense is now heightened to maximum alert. The sixth sense. How does one navigate absolute darkness without colliding with obstacles? Nero possesses a piece of biological technology that humans have only recently managed to mimic: echolocation. From a nose uniquely shaped like a leaf, Nero projects beams of high-frequency ultrasonic waves. We cannot hear these sounds, but if human ears could tune in, Nero's scream would be as loud as a jet engine taking off. The sound waves travel out, strike tree trunks, leaves, and vines, and bounce back. Nero's oversized ears capture these returning signals. In his brain, a detailed 3D map of his surroundings is painted instantly. He sees the texture of bark, the distance of every leaf, and most importantly, the presence of prey. The moth hunt. A strange blip appears on Nero's radar screen. A soft object beating its wings rhythmically. A moth, a favorite meal, rich in protein. Immediately, Nero increases his broadcast frequency to hundreds of times per second. This is the terminal phase, target locked. The moth is no amateur. It senses the ultrasonic waves and begins to fly in a chaotic zigzag pattern to deceive the predator. An aerial dogfight ensues in three-dimensional space. Nero banks hard, loops, and dives. The G-force on his body is immense. At the decisive moment, Nero doesn't catch it with his mouth. He uses his flexible tail membrane to scoop the prey inward, like a goalkeeper's net, and transfers it to his mouth mid-flight. It all happens in the blink of an eye. A perfect capture. Energy and thirst. To sustain the immense energy required for flight and his continuous sonar system, Nero's metabolism runs at a furious pace. Every night, he must consume insects amounting to 1/3 of his body weight. Imagine a grown man having to eat 50 pizzas every single night just to survive. After such a dry meal, thirst strikes. Nero flies toward the sound of trickling water. The lake's surface is as flat as a mirror. Drinking on the wing is a risky technique. Fly too low, and he crashes into the water, unlikely to take off again. Too high, and he misses. Nero glides in, his tongue cutting a razor-thin line across the water's surface, scooping up cool droplets without wetting his fur. A delicate ballet of precision. Rest and warning. Nero finds a dry branch to hang from for a moment's rest. This is a time to digest and interact with a few neighbors. A fleeting moment of peace in the deep night. He uses his claws to comb through his fur, removing moth dust. His ears still swivel like radar dishes, scanning every frequency of the forest. The chirping of crickets, the croak of frogs, the rustle of the wind. Suddenly, the jungle's cacophony vanishes. This silence does not bring peace. It signals the presence of death. A shadow is casting itself over Nero's hunting ground. The phantom owl. High on a branch, the glowing yellow eyes of a wood owl are fixed on the tiny heat signature that is Nero. The owl is the perfect anti-bat weapon. The most terrifying thing about the owl is not its talons, but its feathers. Their specialized structure allows them to cancel out all noise during flight. To Nero's sonar system, the owl is like a stealth aircraft. It does not reflect sound. It is a hole in his map. By the time Nero senses the change in air pressure at the back of his neck, the enemy's talons are inches away. Survival reflexes kick in. Nero drops into a free fall, a life-saving maneuver. He dives into a thicket of thorny rattan. The owl, with its wide wingspan, cannot penetrate this dense terrain. Nero holds his breath, his heart hammering against his ribs. The hunter has become the hunted. He must wait until those yellow eyes turn away. The Gauntlet of the Cave. Escaping the Lord of the Skies, Nero decides to return to the safety of the cave area, but he is unaware that another trap has been set. On the vertical cliffs surrounding the cave mouth, rat snakes lie in patient ambush. They know this is a major intersection, a bottleneck where thousands of bats must pass. The snake hangs suspended, camouflaged as a vine. It senses vibrations in the air. As one of Nero's kin flies past, the snake launches like an arrow. A precise strike. Nero witnesses it all. He air brakes violently, pulling up into a steep climb, soaring just out of reach of the legless reaper. The jungle offers no room for error, not even for a second. The fury of the skies. But tonight, the trials are not over for Nero. The smell of damp earth rises pungently. Pressure drops sharply. Black clouds blot out the moon. A lightning bolt tears the sky apart, followed by thunder that shakes the very ground. A tropical storm has arrived. For a bat, heavy rain is more dangerous than any beast. The water soaks their fur, doubling their body weight. Worse still, the sound of hammering rain creates a massive wall of sonic interference. Nero's navigation system is paralyzed. He is flying blind through a barrage of water bullets. His body temperature plummets. If he doesn't find shelter, Nero will die of hypothermia. He spots a broad, wild banana leaf. With the last of his strength, Nero dives under this natural canopy. Shivering, wet, and alone, Nero clings to the leaf's rib, listening to the rain roaring outside, waiting for nature's fury to pass. Return and motherhood. Near dawn, the rain finally ceases. The jungle steams with rising mist. Nero, exhausted and battered, joins the other survivors flying back to the cave. The cave entrance appears like a welcoming embrace. Stepping inside, the warmth of the colony banishes the chill of the stormy night. In the heart of the cave, a moving scene is unfolding. This is the nursery. Pale, pink, hairless pups are clinging tightly to their mothers. Though they live in darkness and chaos, maternal love here is a miracle. A mother bat can recognize her own pup's call amidst tens of thousands of other cries. They nurse their young with warm milk, protecting the future generation from the harshness of the wild.
the silent guardians.
Nero finds his familiar roost. He begins to groom his fur, licking the small scratches earned during the long night. Below on the cave floor, layers of guano accumulated over millennia provide nutrients for an entire ecosystem of microorganisms and ground insects. And more importantly, outside, as the sun illuminates the land, the lush green forest owes Nero and his kin a debt of gratitude. Last night, tons of harmful insects were eliminated. Thousands of flowers were pollinated, and countless seeds were dispersed. Bats are the silent gardeners, the guardians of the jungle. The night's slumber. The sun has climbed high. Blinding light pierces through the leaves, waking the birds and the monkeys. The noisy, colorful world of the day has returned. But deep underground, the kingdom of shadows is drifting into sleep. Nero yawns, revealing tiny teeth. He folds one wing over his eyes, then wraps the other around his body like a protective cocoon. His heart rate slows. His breathing becomes steady. People often fear the dark, projecting evil upon these creatures. But look closer, and you will see a being of resilience, intelligence, and deep affection. Nero will rest peacefully in the embrace of eternal night within the cave, waiting for the next sunset to fall, so he may once again take wing and rule the skies. For he is the shadow of the jungle.
Bats keep the forest alive.